Welcome back to the HUD, everyone. I'm Zacharoni, and sorry about the delay on this one. I mean, it can be hard to write with the heat getting to you. I think I'd rather explore a crypt filled with monsters while listening to the music, although I would be still hot by the end. And thus we have Crypt of the Necrodancer, a roguelike music rhythm game I've been playing lately, which I started to dislike at first, but the more I play, the more I got better at it. So the main mechanic of Crypt of the Necrodancer is that everything moves with the beat, and you have to move to the beat while learning the movement patterns of your enemies in the game, so you can take them out before they cross your path. For example, skeletons will wiggle their arms in the air, and that's your opportunity to not go straight into them. And there are other enemies like the monkey, which will land on your face, temporarily leaving you vulnerable and reverse your controls. I started off with a dagger that can only reach about 1 square, but then I found other weapons like a spear and longsword, my personal favorite, that can reach up to 2 squares, and some of them can do extra damage or give you health back if you defeat a set number of them. Plus, I use other items like bombs to discover hidden secrets, and armor pieces that allow me to take less damage from enemies. Now this is where the roguelike elements comes in. If your character die, the level you were playing on changed the next time you play, and while the difficulty was frustrating at first, the diamonds I collected allow me to make the game more accessible, like giving my character more health and removing items that I found useless to me. Then there are the bosses that are different every time you play, like a gorilla who has an army of zombies who moves in a conga line, and another where I was on a chessboard with living musical instruments that appeared out of nowhere. I found them enjoyable, and my reward for defeating them is cutscenes that flesh out the backstory of the main hero, with voice acting that I found enjoyable, especially the final boss where after so many tries I managed to conquer it, even if I had to crawl my way back from start to finish in that zone. Also, I like the details that they put into this game, like the merchant who will sing to the music that is playing, and there's this one level where it starts with techno in the cold, and then it brings in the guitar when it goes in the warm. As for the soundtrack, it's catchy to listen to, which is composed by Daniel Baranowski, and when I looked up about him, he actually done the soundtrack for Super Meat Boy, another great game I like with catchy music. However, the big complaint I have is that there's no controller support. Which, by the way, I'm playing this on the PC, because the keyboard setup is frustrating to use, and if you watch my leftover videos, you'll probably understand why. So the way you move your character is by using the arrow keys, which is on the right side of the keyboard, and I kind of find this awkward because it's like playing the game Southpaw. No offense to some people out there. But luckily, I can rebind the keyboard to my personal playstyle, so I moved it to the traditional setup. The W, S, A, and D keys, of course. Plus, I move using items to different keys because pressing 2 keys at the same time feels a bit awkward for me, really. So in conclusion, Crypt of the Necrodancer may be hard to cope with, but the more I spend with it, the more I manage to master the enemy patterns and come out on top in this interesting music rhythm game. Whew. Now that I've done my opinion on that game, I think I'll go for a soft, tender, chocolate-covered muffin right about now. No, not a donut. Last time I ordered one of those, a hole suddenly came to my restaurant and took it with it, including me. Took me 6 weeks for me to get out of there. But to pass the time, I played Donut County, which I mistakenly called it Donut Country in my leftovers. Thanks for the information, random fan who I ran into. So Donut County is like this. You are a hole that appears out of nowhere, and as you fill it with random junk, the hole gets bigger, allowing you to sink bigger objects like buildings and innocent bystanders for good measures. While the objective is the same in every level, it didn't feel tiresome. In fact, it's kinda like clearing the leaves in a car parking area without using a leaf blower or any other tools that are designed to pick up leaves, and that would come in handy. So as you can tell, I had fun with this title, where I did mischief things like destroying a snake factory, made a couple of rabbits bang with each other, and swallowed an entire traffic jam, so I get that beats the rush hour really. There is a story to it, but I didn't care less about it. However, I do feel sorry for BK because every time he brings donuts to the customers, a random hole suddenly appears out of nowhere, thanks to me of course, resulting in everyone blaming him for it. even his friend Mia, who forced him to clean her room for 100 years. Guys, he runs a donut shop. How was he supposed to know he was setting up holes that swallows up your homes if he was running a donut shop? But luckily, I found the mastermind who was behind the random holes, which is not me of course, it was some random company that just wanted to collect junk for some reason. But the final slice, well, it was satisfying, but it wasn't anything special really. The only complaint I have is that the game lasts about 2 hours, which might be short given that there's nothing else to say about it. But in the end, it's a satisfying set of donuts that is worth eating through. And with that, that's your second helpings of Crypt of the Necrodancer and Donut County. I hope you appreciate my opinions, and if you like what you see, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. But until then, I'm Zacharoni. Enjoy your pizza, and I'll see you next time.